All right, so now who the hell's finishing in fourth in the NFC South? Tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, a 4-way tie for fourth. Last year, it was a 3-way tie for second, third, and fourth, with the Buccaneers winning the division by 1 game. And we've talked in the past about the fact the Falcons ended up with a pretty good schedule because, you know what? They finished fourth, technically, and they get a couple of easier games. This is not easy. I'm just throwing a dart here. I hate to say it'll be the Falcons again. That's not very creative. Let's say the Bucs. Even though they've got guys left from their Super Bowl championship team, and there they are with the lowest over-under win total, the longest odds to win the division, I will say the Bucs. I said it before the graphic came up. Bucs, I think, even though they could still win the division, any of these teams could win the division. One of them is going to finish in fourth place. If I have to pick one today, I'll say the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I hear that. To me, it's the Bucs or the Panthers. That's the teams I look at to be towards the bottom. I'll go with the Panthers, right? You know, the Brian Burns situation. Hey, the offensive line still maybe not where it's at. You know, lack of big-time weapons on the offensive side of the ball, rookie quarterback. I'm going to pick them to be fourth. But there's some things I like about them, too. I mean, their D is real. We know that. It is. But it's not the same without Brian Burns. So, but yeah, I think if I look at it as Bucs, Panthers, I'll go Panthers fourth, and I'll go Bucs third. That's kind of how I look at it. I worry about the Bucs, Mike, just to piggyback off of what you said. That O-line still, you know, the interior part certainly, right? And then Mike Evans, another year. You know, last year did not look the same as Mike Evans, still real good, but maybe superstar take over the game part of his career over defense. You know, Shaquille Barrett coming back from torn Achilles tendon, right? Tryon Shianka, was he going to add something to the edge there? I don't know. There's just too many questions for me there. New offensive coordinator, everything there. So that's why I'm going to go Panthers 4, Bucs 3, Mike.
Yeah, Ryan Jensen gone for the year, maybe gone for good with the knee injury that happened last year, that he didn't have surgery, had some sort of convoluted, like Mad Libs when you look at all the different things he did for treatment. It's like words they pulled out of the air for this treatment that got him able to play in the postseason game against the Cowboys, but he's not there. He's on IR, and he's likely done with the Buccaneers. So a lot of questions. And just a sense of transition for the Buccaneers in the first year post-Tom Brady. So I'm with you. Bucs 4th, Panthers 3. You got Panthers 4, Bucs 3. And I think one of the concerns with the Panthers, whatever Bryce Young's ceiling is going to be, and it could end up being very high, I think of the 3 quarterbacks taken in the top 4 picks this year, he's the one that's going to have the toughest time this year getting toward that ceiling. Am I wrong to think that? I just feel like it's going to be more of a stark transition for him than it is for C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson.
I feel like, yeah, their team is not set up yet best to support him maybe in the game that he would be most comfortable playing, right? You know, Richardson, we know there's, you know, incredible talent. It's raw, whatever. Stroud, you know, they're running an offense and kind of formula where it fits him. It's going to be, you know, in the pocket, good old line play, you know, play action pass over the middle. Not great weapons there, but I think it's in its early stages of fitting C.J. Stroud the right way there. I just think there's, a little more meat left on the bone as far as Carolina and kind of fitting that offense to Bryce Young and that total vision there and how they're going to play, let alone Frank Reich, you know, is not one that's always played that style of offense either. Spread, shotgun, out quick, blah, 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 too. I think there's a little bit of a getting used to period by all sides here in Carolina.
All right, now it gets a little more difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Not that it's been easy so far. Second place, who do you have?
I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints right here. It was a tough call. I mean, obviously, I'm picking Atlanta to win the division. I'm a believer in Atlanta, but I not to say, like, the Saints were one where I sat there and, you know, hemmed and hawed as I do, and it was like, oh, man, am I really going to do this, right? I mean, yeah, they got Derek Carr. The O-line's pretty good. You know, Michael Thomas being back in the fold like we've talked about with Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed and Jawan Johnson at tight end. You know, their D-line, how good is that? Are they a little too old? Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Where are they at in their careers? I mean, I know they're real good, but are they still like top-notch at their position type good? Same for Marshawn Lattimore there. So, yeah, I mean, the Saints, I think, are going to be highly competitive. I'm just feeling the vibe a little bit more of the Falcons and what they did this offseason and where they're headed right now more than the Saints.
I think the big question mark for the Falcons is the quarterback position.
Definitely.
Do you put any stock into the fact that Desmond Ridder is not a captain?
No, I don't. I know we've got into this and where everybody thinks the quarterback's always got to be the captain and all of that. Hey, he's a young football player who hasn't done anything yet. They got, some other guys on their team that, they probably feel are a little bit more advanced in the leadership department right now. He's probably not trying to be the most vocal leader in the world. As you know, you try to kind of earn your stripes a little bit there before you start speaking out and telling guys what to do and do all that. So, no, I'm not surprised by that. I think that's okay.
The captains for this year offensively are Jake Matthews and Chris Lindstrom, both offensive linemen.
Right.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
If your quarterback isn't naturally slipping into the leadership role, you need to support him. You need to boost him. And again, far more important than the person who casts the ballots is the person who counts the votes. If Arthur Smith, the coach of the Falcons, wanted to make Desmond Ridder captain, he's going to do it. It's not like the locker room is going to compare notes about, hey, who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for?
Right.
This is rigged.
Right.
So I just think that to the extent they were attracted to Ridder because of the intangibles, why haven't those intangibles manifested themselves in him earning a C on his jersey? That's where I'm a little concerned about it, and I just wonder where this is going. And with Derek Carr right through the door with the Saints, captain on the jersey, taking over, we know he can play well in the regular season. We know he can do enough to help that team win the division. What happens after that remains to be seen. I think the Saints win the division because of Derek Carr. They may not get deep into the playoffs because of Derek Carr, but I think they win the division because of Carr and the infrastructure they have in place. So for me, it's Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Bucks. For you, it's Falcons, Saints, Bucks, Panthers. We've got the same tiers. We just flipped the tiers around a little bit. We'll go ahead and take a break. More PFT Live right after this. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.